In an open field, Michael contemplates the beautiful colors of the sky when suddenly a shot is heard and a woman screams, until Michael wakes up that night. Michael goes to the casino where he has been working for 3 months. By now, having learned every detail of the design and the location of each camera, he has become friends with all the employees by knowing their preferences and daily routines. He has also become very familiar with the regular customers. Being a good employee also allows him to attend to VIP clients, and on occasion, he even hears confidential information. After finishing his shift, Michael removes all the prosthetics he uses on his face to protect his identity. It turns out that he is an accomplice and has been working in the casino to obtain privileged information. He has also been installing small bugs on various machines and tables. After 3 months of hard work, he is finally ready to win some money by using a different disguise. He enters the casino and uses his phone to activate a hidden device that causes the cards to fly out of a shuffling machine. Then he goes to a table where he uses his own magnetic die to win, since he had previously installed a button that allowed him to change the outcome. Next, he enters the room of a VIP client who is sleeping because Michael had slipped a sedative into his drink during his shift. After the chaos created with the cards, the VIP players are to be moved to the private room, so Michael steals the VIP client's golden pass and his elegant clothes. Now Michael runs to the service elevator and places his own chip in the control panel. When the employee responsible for the new cards finds it, Michael pretends to be lost and tries to file a complaint as a VIP, so the employee agrees to take him to the correct floor in the service elevator. Then Michael uses his phone again to stop the elevator and turn off the lights while the employee tries to get help. Michael swaps the box of new cards with his own box that he had hidden there earlier. Finally, Michael reactivates everything and enters the VIP room, where he sits at the main table with Alex. Michael also puts on a pair of special sunglasses that allow him to see the numbers on the modified cards that he had secretly inserted. When the game begins, he makes sure not to win every round in order to avoid suspicion and to encourage the other players to bet more. Suddenly, Michael's cards change without him realizing it, and he bets all the money he has won so far. The other players do the same, and Michael feels satisfied. However, he is surprised to see that his hand is actually losing because the numbers are not the same. The third player wins all the money and leaves the game to keep it. Suspecting something, Michael follows the man and snatches the suitcase with the money, only to find random papers inside. Suddenly, the lights flicker and the man's face changes, revealing that he is not the player and that Michael followed the wrong man. At that moment, the guards arrive and capture Michael while he watches Alex escape unnoticed. Then they tie Michael to a chair in a warehouse, and a guard beats him before the casino owner, Victor, asks him about the money. When Michael tries to act like a VIP client, he receives another punch, so he attempts to explain that a different scammer took the money. Victor does not believe him and gives him 1 week to return the money or face terrible consequences. Afterward, Michael travels by plane to a casino in the middle of nowhere, where the guards keep him at gunpoint. However, they step back when his boss, Leon, welcomes Michael as an old friend while they share some drinks. Michael notices a necklace with a symbol that matches Alex's tattoo. He asks about its meaning, but Leon first makes him recount what happened. Then Leon explains that there are people, like psychics and witches, who are born with the ability to dive into their consciousness, which is like a special invitation, allowing them to perform supernatural activities. In Alex's case, it seems he has the power to change what other people see using a book with drawings that represent the legend. Leon explains that everyone in the world is tied to a collective unconscious, and that all myths originate there. People with special powers can leave their personal consciousness and enter the collective, much like accessing an alternate universe that offers infinite possibilities and all the accumulated knowledge of humanity. Ordinary people can also enter this place, but they cannot leave without a special amulet that acts as a compass. Michael laughs because he doesn't believe any of this, and Leon becomes angry. He gives Michael the book containing the list of people with powers and tells him to find Alex the very next day. Alex meets with Gordon and hands over the money. Then Gordon reveals that he has a compass and asks Alex to teach him how to use the magic door. However, Alex refuses, explaining that he enjoys working with Gordon and wouldn't want to lose him there. Gordon will need a partner he trusts to help him navigate. Returning to Michael, he asks Leon about the people on the list, and Leon swears they are real because he himself has seen their powers. This gives Michael an idea. He could get the money by hiring people with powers to defeat the casino. First, there is Eric, a rich kid with telekinesis who doesn't want to work. Then there is Tony, a taxi driver who can control electronic devices, generally handling only small things, like making the taximeter run faster, changing traffic lights, or activating police sirens. Michael visits both and easily convinces them to join a special team to obtain tons of money. Then there is Kevin, a hypnotist whose parents were sent to a mental institution. The doctors earn a lot of money from him because he programs people to cure their depression. Michael visits him in the institution and convinces him to escape with him. When a nurse sees them and tries to chase them, Eric creates a distraction by causing the other patients to start a protest demanding better living conditions, while the patients block the nurse's passage. Tony uses his power to steal an ambulance and open the gate at the crossing so that the group can escape the next day. They practice how to use their powers to cheat at the casino and which gestures to use to communicate silently. Eric will use his telekinesis to move the dice, and in his subconscious space, he appears manually moving the dice. Kevin will hypnotize other players or employees, and his subconscious space shows him manipulating an ice statue. Finally, Tony will have to deal with the cameras when he uses his power. His subconscious space appears as a storm, with chips floating around him. They play some games with Leon's people, and at first everything goes well, but soon it becomes chaotic. Kevin accidentally blinds an employee. One of Leon's clients gets scared when he loses and pulls out his gun. Tony gets frightened and accidentally causes a short circuit in the camera. Michael runs to calm the angry client before deciding that they will need a better way to communicate the next day. Michael attends a funeral where a group of grieving women harass Veronica and ask for her help. Suddenly, a car parks nearby and some men in black get out. A terrified Veronica flees and drops her headphones in the process, which Michael grabs. When a second car with mysterious men appears, Veronica hides inside an abandoned building and waits for the men to leave. Then Michael returns her headphones and tells her that he is not one of those men. Veronica tries to leave without saying a word, so Michael follows her to ask some questions. However, Veronica can read minds and tells him that she is not interested in his plan. At that moment, one of the men finds them, and Michael stops him while Veronica escapes. The remaining men corner them in an alley, but Michael appears on the rooftop and helps her escape. The next day, Gordon follows Alex's instructions to begin his training. A hypnotist finds him and quickly sends him into the subconscious world, where Gordon now has the power to control anyone he wants. While unconscious on the ground, Gordon forces a street painter to copy a famous painting. Then he controls a museum employee and makes him exchange the fake painting for the authentic one that was about to be transferred to another museum. As they load the fake painting into a truck, Gordon wakes up and buys the real, famous painting from the confused painter for just a few dollars. None of the people he controlled remembers what happened. Returning to Michael, he introduces Veronica to the rest of the group, explaining that she can read and transmit thoughts. She will pass Michael's instructions to the others as they practice. Michael tells her to enter his subconscious space, which resembles a very peculiar forest. Then he thinks of Eric as he sees the great city bell, so Veronica passes the message to Eric's mind. After Eric does so, Michael wants two people to run while shouting for help, so Veronica passes the message to Kevin, who quickly manages it. Tony is instructed to cause most of the lights in the area to short circuit, which will scare more people and make all the birds fly away. Finally, Michael asks Veronica to tell the people on the street that an earthquake is coming. As Veronica conveys the suggestion, the combination of her words and all the strange events caused by the others convinces the people that an earthquake is truly occurring, so everyone flees until only Michael's team remains. Then Michael steals some drinks from a restaurant while explaining his plan. They will enter the casino with false identities, and each will arrive at different times except for Veronica, who will pose as Michael's fiancée. This means they need to purchase elegant clothes and visit a stylist for a makeover. With only 2 days remaining, the team finally goes to the casino. Michael plays while Veronica acts as the passive trophy wife, so she can focus on passing the messages. Tony handles the cameras while playing on the slot machines, which he is also manipulating. Eric is among Michael's opponents, making everyone lose on purpose so that Michael can win once he has accumulated enough at that table. Then Veronica moves to another table where Kevin is controlling an employee. At first the plan goes well, but Eric drinks too much and gets tired of losing, so he starts manipulating the roulette to win some money as well. He also begins speaking with Michael aloud, instead of sending his thoughts through the slot machines. Tony becomes overexcited and starts controlling too many machines at once. The guards grow suspicious and drag Eric and Tony away, but when they are about to enter the elevator, the rest of the team is present. Kevin hypnotizes the guards to make them leave, and the team hides inside the elevator to talk. Michael scolds them for what they did and explains that they could die by cheating. Then the team agrees to follow only Michael's instructions and moves to the final table. Michael bets everything while Tony controls the camera, Kevin takes care of the employee, and Eric manipulates the dice. The plan works and Michael wins $10 million. Then the group goes to the beach to celebrate with drinks and a bonfire. Although Veronica sits apart from them, Michael checks on her and points out that they could work together a few more times to get more money, but Veronica is not interested. A quarrel ensues and they exchange insults. Meanwhile, Alex has dinner with Gordon and informs him that they must cancel their lessons. Alex insists that he cannot continue teaching until Gordon finds a partner. Then Gordon asks about Michael and Alex tells him about the new team. Gordon is not pleased to hear this and announces that they will have to intervene the next morning. The team is on the road when suddenly they are chased by an all-terrain vehicle. When the mysterious car pulls ahead, Tony dodges it and tries to lose it, but a second all-terrain vehicle joins the chase. In a matter of minutes, the all-terrain vehicles surround the car and force Tony to stop in the middle of the road. Victor emerges with his men, who capture the entire team and brandish dolls. Michael explains that they have the money. However, Victor is now more interested in their powers, and since Michael has no ability, they take him to the edge of a cliff and shoot him so that his body rolls into the forest. The group is devastated upon seeing this and hides in their subconscious spaces to cry, unaware that this is a trick. Michael is fine, and they take him to see Gordon, who turns out to be his father. Gordon cuts the strings of his son's dolls, and Michael is shocked to realize that his father had been behind all of this the whole time. The guards detain him while Gordon points out that Michael ignored him for 10 years and that this was the only way to get his attention. Gordon also reminds him that when Michael was a child, they dreamed of finding the special door, and now he knows where it is. Sometime later at the casino, Victor, Tony, Kevin, and Eric are forced to work as employees to make the clients lose one afternoon. When they return to their rooms, they find a plumber working in the bathroom. It turns out to be Michael in disguise, who realizes that Veronica has disappeared. The others explain that she refused to work for Victor and that she has been in a coma all this time because she hasn't left her subconscious space since she supposedly saw Michael die that night. The lights flicker over the gaming tables as the guys surround Victor to announce that they are abandoning him. The guards immediately take them to a warehouse and leave a novice guarding the door, not realizing that it is Michael. Michael frees his friends and then shares his knowledge about the casino to formulate a plan. Kevin forces a guard to use his keycard on the electronic lock, while Michael uses a stolen one to jam the elevators in the basement. The next corridor is blocked by lasers, so Michael lets the team handle it while he goes to look for Veronica. He puts on a mask that he had left earlier and launches a gas bomb to knock down the guard, then rescues an unconscious Veronica from her room in the corridor. Tony turns off a number of lasers, but cannot disable them all. At least now there is enough space for Eric to carefully move among them without touching any. Eric manages to reach the other side and finds the casino safe, so he begins using his powers to force it open. The lasers go down, but also trigger an alarm. While Michael meets with the team, the guards try to reach the corridor, only to find that the elevators are not working and that a hypnotized employee quickly shoots one of them down. The guards enter the corridor at the same time that Eric finally opens the safe, so the team rushes in and closes the door before the guards' shots can reach them. Victor orders his men to kill the team as soon as they exit, and as soon as they do, Michael announces that his plan will end unless they wake Veronica. The others try to warn him that she could die if she enters the subconscious space because she has no powers, but Michael is determined to proceed. Then Kevin hypnotizes Michael, who appears floating in a white space with important objects from his life around him, and he hears conversations from the past that remind him of his mother's death and all the illegal work he has done over the years, including the time he spent in prison. The voice of Veronica is heard calling him selfish. A door appears and Michael crosses it, falling into a vast field with multiple doors and beautiful colors in the sky. A storm approaches. He runs to find shelter behind a door, but the storm quickly catches up with him and nearly strikes him. Yet he raises a hand and with a single gesture freezes the storm. It falls to the ground and cleans the field. Michael then sits on the ground and concentrates on his memories of Veronica. Suddenly, the ground begins to crack and transform, turning the field into a city. Michael climbs a set of stairs and finds Veronica gazing at the colors of the sky. When he tries to approach her, he finds a force field surrounding her. He strikes it several times while shouting, but Veronica does not react. Then Michael tries to send his thoughts, causing the buildings to collapse, and he appears in a barren land under the rain. The force field still protects Veronica, but now she can hear him. She says that she does not want to return to the real world because no one is waiting for her. Michael tries to explain that she is actually alive, but she does not believe him, so she sends him the memory of the day they met. The psychic excursion happens again, and when Michael appears on the roof, he tells her that he only has her. Veronica takes his hand, and the two are transported back to the field with all the doors. They share a kiss before Veronica leaves through one of the doors, which causes her to wake up in real life. However, as it is Michael's first time, he must find his own way out. A flashback reveals that Gordon taught Michael everything about the subconscious space, and that he wanted his son to be his partner, so they could start a business together using the doors. He also gave him the compass and promised to send help in the present. Michael sees Alex emerging from a door and begins to follow him, while the area transforms back into the casino. Michael follows Alex, and together they observe the scene of his presumed death. Alex positions both himself and Michael within the memory, while explaining how to access a person's mind. At that moment, Michael wakes up in the safe and announces that they are leaving with the money. Tony deactivates the lock and the door opens, but the corridor is empty. It turns out that while still in the subconscious space, Michael entered Victor's mind and made him believe that the team had already escaped with the money. Victor orders his guards to chase them, explaining the empty corridors. The team escapes easily with the money and meets Alex on the beach. Alex says he has a proposal for them while someone nearby makes fire appear in his hand. 3 months later, Michael agrees to do a job with Gordon before 2 hypnotists send them into the subconscious space.
If you want interesting movie recaps, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.